What is happening, everybody? Welcome to the Somebody Like You podcast, where today's topic we are talking about what I wish I knew sooner on my mental health journey. That can be from spirituality to mental health, anxiety, depersonalization, depression to religion. All of these things played such a massive role in my development through my mental health. So I would just like to almost give like a cheat sheet to people working through this, loved ones working through this, or friends, anybody, to be able to be a better healing partner for them. So as we get this started, we always like to have a word from our sponsor, which is Somebody Like You mental health and emotional wellness coaching. Um, and with that being said, are you ready to unlock your true potential and embark on a self love and self discovery journey? Discover the transformative power of Somebody Like You mental health coaching. Hey, that's me. Picture this, you just had your first session with somebody like you, and already you're experiencing a positive shift in your mental health. The clouds of uncertainty and self doubt are clearing, making way for a brighter, more empowered version of you. That's the magic of mental health coaching. Because in today's fast paced world, we're all faced with challenges that can impact our well being. Stress, anxiety, self limiting beliefs can hold us back from reaching our full potential. But with somebody like you, mental health coaching, you have a compassionate and experienced guide by your side, dedicated to helping you navigate these obstacles. Just imagine the benefit of having a trained professional who understands your unique struggles and provides personalized guidance through the powerful technique and evidence based strategies. Somebody like you helps you gain clarity, resilience, and emotional well being. So why wait? Take the first step towards a happier, healthier you. Visit Somebody Like You's website today at somebodylikeyou.org and schedule your first session through an email form at the bottom. Experience the positive impact of mental health coaching and unlock your true potential. Well, thank you for that wonderful sponsored post from Somebody Like You Mental Health and Emotional Wellness Coaching. And now back to our podcast. So, like I said, what I wish I knew sooner on this mental health journey, this adventure, this roller coaster ride. First things first, there's not a magic pill that fixes anything. I don't care what commercial you say, you saw, everything like that. Medication is great for those that need it, that require it. But remember this, there is no magic pill that is going to fix anything. No magic pill. And that doesn't just mean medicine. That means there's no simple magic hack that's going to just fix all of your mental health problems that you are working through right now. Because remember, medicine can be great, but if you don't do anything else, it's just going to become another symptom. Yeah, you heard that right. Another symptom. You're just another thing that you're going to have to worry about, another thing you're going to experience side effects from. You need to incorporate a healthier lifestyle while you are taking these medications. And remember, one medication might not work well with your system. So consulting with a doctor you trust, a trusted health professional is crucial during this time. Now, I mentioned there's not a simple life hack that's going to make this all go away because understand the life hack is hard work and dedication to yourself. Yeah, I know that's not what everyone wants to hear. Is you wish, well, dude, you're a mental health coach. Oh, like, give me the problem. Give me the solution to my problems. I don't know whose accent that was, but it's coming through, right? There's not one thing that works for every single person. There's aspects of things that work for people. I mean, and it's going to sound generic, but exercise, like what exercise is to you might not be exercise to me. Some people go out and run 10 miles a day. Good for them. If I did that, my knees would fall apart. I'm a big dude. Getting around 235 pounds, 6'3" of me, 10 miles? Get out of town, brother. That ain't happening. But what I can do is I can moderate that to what works best for me. I have a bench trainer, like one of those slide trainers, those total bodies. I think it's a great flex or something like that. I got from my parents' house. I love doing that. A little bit of strength training for 30 to 40 minutes every other day. Perfect. Sign me up. What I do to get my cardio, I do run. but I walk. I walk as well, right? We'll get like 3 miles in, and I'm going to walk. Now, I'm fortunate I live in a neighborhood that has some pretty steep inclines for a long period of time. So I walk up the inclines and I jog down the declines and the what would you call it? Even surfaces, I guess. I'll run through those, jog through those, jog, one might say. But remember, you're finding what works for you. Like mindfulness, yoga, meditation, all these things are great, but they're a discipline. It's not just like, okay, I was mindful for 3 days and I'm gonna feel great now. That's not gonna work, right? We're gonna get later into this podcast the kind of key to the exercise, the mindfulness, the yoga, meditation, therapy, and coaching, all of those things, what's actually the secret sauce behind those. But remember, it starts with the dedication and the consistency to yourself. So if you're learning how to meditate and you're sitting there like, yo, like for instance, this morning I just meditated with a 432 hertz frequencies on the Insight Timer app. I think you can find it on any app store, just Insight Timer. It's free. I like it. It works for me. There's other places like Calm or Headspace that can work as well. But for 15 minutes, headphones on, eyes closed, and I had a beautiful meditation session this morning. It was actually one I connected really well with. But do you know how long it's taken me to get to the point where I'm able to have 15 minutes of meditation? It's taking me years of finding out what works for me because that's not what my meditation always looks like. Laying on a bed, closed eyes, headphones on, that's not what meditation looks like for everybody. You can be meditating while doing the dishes. The whole thing of being meditative is being present. It's not the absence of thought, it's the awareness of thought and the separation from them. You are not your thoughts, right? So we talk about there's no magic pill to fix all of this, no single hack that's going to fix all of these mental health things, but the dedication to exercise, mindfulness, therapy, coaching are extremely beneficial, and how you start is to be extremely simple. Like I said, you don't need to run 10 miles a day. You might want to get out there and just walk for 5 minutes. That might be where you're at on your journey. You have to self assess and be truthful with yourself because what my journey looks like and what I talk about is my version of it. It's my perspective. I started out at 10 minutes a day, right? I started out because I was like, you know what? I'm not my 17-year-old self who was like a three-sport athlete in high school. I didn't like practicing then. I just had the capacity and the lung capacity to do it. Now I'm a little older. The joints are a little bit creakier. I needed to be real with myself and see like what does this look like for me? How am I going to stick with this long term? And it's been a lot of starting, stopping, starting and stopping. But I finally found the way to do it for myself. So that's like when I coach people, that's what we talk about is I know you see a lot of content on social media. You see probably a lot of things that I post. Remember, it's not specific to you. Those are my perspective from a broad thing. But when we get to sit down and talk with each other or over Zoom or over a phone call, whatever it might be, we're going to talk about the specific things for you. That's what a coach does. That's what we're doing for each other, right? So remember, keep it super simple and talk to a coach if you need to. I'm always here to listen. I'm always here to help. And we need to learn how to set goals. So that can start with what I remember mine was for my wedding. That was my driving force. My mental health is the driving force. Everything else is a byproduct. And I use my wedding as like, well, I need to be in the most sound state of mind when I'm standing up in front of people. I don't want to be worried about having anxiety or panic attack or anything like that. I want to be so sound that it's going to be not even a thought in my mind. I don't know, maybe do like a 7-day challenge or something like that where people can join the challenge for free and all this stuff. And you can go on the journey with me. Maybe we'll bring along somebody as well. Maybe we already have something in the works. Who knows? But we'll see what that's coming up soon. Still brainstorming about that, but I like the idea of that. So, what I wish I knew sooner one, there's no magic pill that's going to fix everything. There's no saving grace of simple hack that's going to change everything. We wish there was, but there's not. Next up, you're going to be the only one who will save you. All others can do is simply help. I'm going to read that one more time because it's powerful. You are the only one who will save you. Others can only simply help. And that's not downplaying the help of others, but until we are able to understand that we need to do the work, that we need to be open for help, we need to do all of this stuff, we're just going to hear advice and it's going to go in one ear and right out the other. Because you could be handed the magic solution, but until you're committed to yourself and the journey you're on, it's simply just going to be another piece of advice. It's simply just going to be another piece of you're like, wow, you could put that on a t-shirt. That sounds so catchy. You could put that in a book. Um, how many of you have read cliches a million times and then one day you're like, holy shit, that makes sense. It never made sense until right now, until you've gone through it, until you've been ready to accept it. So you're the only one that's going to save you. And and once you have that mindset and you have that discipline, that's the key. Mindset and discipline. You have the power of perspective. Because we always talk about there's something that could happen to you and there's something that could happen to me. The same exact thing at the same exact time. You could be my brother or sister with the same exact parents in the same exact environment, everything. But our perspective is going to change the way we look at this. And that's going to dictate possibly the rest of our lives. That's going to dictate how we feel about things. So understand it all, like bad things are going to happen, right? Good things are going to happen, right? But how you use your mindset and your power of perspective is going to dictate where you go from those things. And that's not going to say you're going to have those days where you're like, F this, F the world, this sucks. It's okay to feel that way, but understand you feel that way. You are not innately that way. That is a feeling. So once you're committed to yourself, you know what that means? That means through the highs and the lows, you are undoubtedly going to show up for yourself. So when you're having the best of days, you understand you showed up today. I am here. When you're having the worst of days, you showed up. I am here. What you're doing is you're training your mind, your subconscious mind, that you show up. You're not running, you're not freezing, you're not flying, you're not doing all these things. You are showing up for you through the highs and the lows. And in that way, with that recipe, you're going to realize that you are the one that is going to save you. Others are simply only going to be able to help. Does that make sense? I need you to sit with yourself for a second there and understand the first 2 points are connected, right? There's no magic pill, no medicine or single hat. There's no one that's going to sweep you off of your feet and save you from all of this. It's you. Other people will help, but until you are committed to you, this is going to be like a game of hide and go seek. You're gonna be fresh on the trail, but you're not gonna be able to get there because you're not committed to you. Sorry, I just received a phone call and I had to divert it. um, moving on, right? Things you think, the things you say, and the people you surround yourself with are a major reason you feel the way you do. The good and the bad, right? When you're having good days, you're having high days, like that's a product of the words you say, the thoughts you have, and the people you surround yourself with. You are a person that you surround yourself with too. Remember? What is it? You are the sum of the five people you surround yourself with. Be one of those people. Be one of the people that inspires you to be better. Be one of the people that shows up for you, that helps you. That is you, right? Be that person. Because remember, thoughts become reality. Everything is energy, frequencies and vibrations. It is scientifically proven that everything is energy, everything is frequency, and everything is vibrations. So your thoughts, think of it this way, your thoughts start out as energy. It's just like existing as in an energetic field. Those thoughts become frequencies. Thoughts are frequencies in the brain frequencies. right? I didn't lose you yet. Those brain frequencies turn into vibrations. They create your reality. And I know it sounds like, well, that's not how it happens. It is exactly how it happens. And it's so simple once you understand the world is made up of the universe is made up of energy, frequency, and vibrations. The thought you have becomes the words you speak. When you're speaking, it's vibrations, right? Energy is vibration. So I could be saying words, but how I say them is different. So let's try to think of an example. I love you. Those words have vibrations. But what about, wow, I really love you? So different than the first one. Well, just, I'm happy to be me. I'm happy to be me. If you're watching the live recording, you're seeing the difference in my face, right? Those are vibrations. How you're talking to yourself and the intention of what you're saying behind your words. Who know how powerful that is? Because the words are the vibrations of your thoughts. They have power. That you I don't know if you've heard the phrase, but it's called spelling because words have spells. We got a great comment. Thoughts create feelings, create actions. Yes. If you're a logical thinker like myself sometimes, like, you need the line of connection. Thoughts turn into words. Words turn into actions and beliefs. Actions and beliefs are your reality. It's as that is the line. So sometimes it's hard to think to be like, well, I was brought up this way. These bad things happened. Of course, I think this way. Remember, we understand. Bad things have happened to me, to you. I understand this, and I empathize. I sympathize. All the sizes with you. But your that power of your perspective is going to dictate what happens next. All these bad things will happen until you learn that your perspective is what's going to keep you moving forward, opposed to staying in this mud. Love you. Thank you everyone joining the live streams. I love you. I love you, everyone in here. I love the energy that comes through it. Thank you so much for being here. Because remember, how you talk to yourself, the words you say to yourself, the thoughts you believe of yourself create your reality. Do you understand? The things you say, the things you think, and the people you surround yourself with are a major contribution to the way you feel and the way you are and what your reality looks like. Don't discount the content that you are consuming. Life is like an algorithm. What you think, what you say, what you feel, you are going to get more of. Just like on TikTok, just like on Instagram, YouTube, all of these things, they're going to give you what you watch. You don't even have to like, you don't even have to comment. They're watching your watch time. So, what we need to do is start watching our watch time. What are we paying our attention to? What are we spending our energy and spending our time on? Because that's the return we're getting back. Yeah, I'm guilty of it. Sometimes I find myself in some drama-filled content that I just am doom scrolling, we like to call that, right? And that's okay. It's going to happen. Sometimes you do need to disconnect, but disconnect with the intention of disconnecting. Come back. Know you're going to come back. Start watching content that is inspiring. If you're looking to be a content writer or a software engineer or anything, watch the content that's going to bring you joy about those things. That's going to teach you new things about that love, that passion that you have. Because you're surrounding yourself, think of it as a room. Would you rather be in a room filled with people that are in alignment with what you're working for, working towards, working with? Or would you rather be in a room just filled with a bunch of people that are working against you, don't really have an interest in you, don't really know what you're about, where you're trying to go? You want to choose the room you sit in. That's the content you view, the content you consume. Choose the room you sit in and choose where to grow because you're planting a seed in that room. And if you have a bunch of people and a bunch of content and a bunch of things that are interested in the same things you're interested in, are in alignment with the things you're in alignment with, they're gonna water you and you're gonna grow in that room. But if you're in a room where you're watching reality TV, you're watching drama-filled politics, the news, all of these things, they don't give a damn about you. You're not gonna get watered sitting in that room because, like I said, if you're trying to be a copywriter, an engineer, a therapist, a counselor, a coach, any of these things, they don't give a damn about you in that room. So you're not gonna grow. It's gonna make you feel like you don't belong. But I promise you, through my excursion on social media and different platforms, I have found rooms that I love sitting in and that I feel so worthy of being in. It's your environment. It's who you choose to surround yourself with. It's the content you choose to consume. The people that are also consuming that content are going to water you. I can't emphasize that enough. This is one I know we're talking about the things I wish I knew, and we're kind of getting caught up on this one, but this one's powerful. You have to choose the room that you want to be in. The room isn't going to come and grab you unless you're committed to yourself, right? You're committed to the journey, unless you're actively looking to find your place, not just wandering, not just spraying and praying, not doing all of these things. You have to find with great intention and great detail where you want to go. I'll give you an example for me. I want to be the place where people go for mental health help, a spiritual journey, a place to feel safe to talk about their struggles, a place to feel safe that they're able to work through their mental health, a place where they can learn how to help themselves. And I want to be surrounded by people that influence that. I want to be in rooms with other coaches, other therapists, other people who are living with anxiety, bipolar, schizophrenia, anxiety, depression, panic disorder. I want to surround myself with the people that are on the healing journey, that are on the helping journey. That's where my intentions go. I want to be the person that can walk into a school and be there for the teachers to have mental health help. I want to be able to coach through mental health with our service workers, with our hospital staffs, with our, like I said, our teachers. Those are my intentions. And I move with all of my content and with all of my podcasting, all of this. That's where I move. So look into that mirror. What is your intention? What are you moving with purpose for? What room do you want to sit in? And it doesn't mean you have the answer right now. I understand that's a lot to be like, well, whoo, you just dropped that on me pretty quick. Pretty quick. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining. You may never have thought about this. Maybe you've thought everything just had to be reactionary. You just had to always be reacting to the things that are happening in your life, and those series and things, string of events are going to lead you somewhere. They're not going to lead you anywhere except in a circle if you're not moving with intention. Intention is going to bring you the things you are looking for. Where your attention goes, your energy flows, right? We've all heard, well, if you haven't heard it, you heard it now. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. And that is with intention. If you're if you are thinking about love, kindness, gratitude, your attention is going to bring you love, gratitude, kindness, empathy, all of those things. If you are looking for drama, you're gonna find it. You don't have to look far to find it. Gary Vee once had a really powerful quote for me. Not for me, but it was for me. We'll say it that way. For me, now it's for you. If you are looking for hate, if you are looking for guilt, if you are looking for judgment, I promise you, you will find it. There's plenty of it out there. If you are looking for love, kindness, empathy, compassion, helpfulness, I promise you, you will find it. There is plenty of it. You just have to know that you are looking for it. And when other things try to infiltrate your space, your bubble that you're creating, kick it to the curb, let it go pound sand. These are the mindsets you have to have. It's like, oh, this no longer serves me. I release it with love, though. I don't sit here and judge and be like, you're bad. I don't want you. You're terrible. No, it's just not for me. I release it with love. Good. See you later. Peace out. Peace up. A town down. Right. Like, It's okay for things not to be for you. Things and friendships and family members may no longer serve you because you're no longer in alignment. That is okay. That is okay. It's okay to be like, "Hey, I love you, but right now, I don't want you to sit at my table. I want you to eat, but I don't want you to sit at my table." I believe that's what Tupac said. Tupac was dropping wisdom in the 90s. So, see how I got really into it on the content you consume? I'm really passionate about that. The things you have to look at yourself as an algorithm, and the things you are watching, the things you are consuming are the things you are becoming. So if you're watching something, be like, "Wow, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't want to be that." Stop watching it. Yes, I will love you from afar. I can love you, but doesn't mean I like you. I'm all love. I want people that have really hurt me, I love them. I don't like the things they did, but in order to forgive people, in order for us to grow and have a clear and mindset, we have to learn how to forgive, and forgiving others comes from love. Forgiving others comes from a place of, in order for me to love me, I need to love you. Remember, in order to forgive others, you need to forgive yourself. There, and there's this thing called like the acid test, right? Like gold. If you put acid on gold, it's going to let you know if it's real or not. Um, I'm reading a book. It's called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, and just said this today on my run. And it perfect for right now. You can do an acid test with forgiveness. You can ask yourself or put yourself in the situation, if somebody was to come up to you and tell you good news about the person that hurt you, what would you feel? What would you feel about that person? Would you be like, I hope that person rots. I hope that person gets what they did to me. I hope that person, that's the acid test. You didn't forgive them. You may have been saying you've forgiven them, but you feel that hate in you, that resentment, that judgment in you. That's the acid test. We have people in here working through some stuff. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for being here. They mentioned, I get disgusted just hearing their name. It's so new. Got to work on it. That's big, right? We have to understand we are emotional human beings. We experience emotions, and that is not for us to judge ourselves on. Of course, we're going to go through this emotional spectrum of things, this emotional pinwheel. But if your intention is to grow through this and understand that I do want to forgive them, I don't want to hold on to this resentment for the rest of my life because it's going to be like a block of cement chained to my ankle while I'm trying to swim through my life every day. What you're going to learn is, with that intention, you're going to look for reasons to forgive them. That big reason is you want to be able not to drown yourself. So over time, you can just understand you can still love that person. And that doesn't mean like romantic love. Because the way I like to look at it is, people that have hurt me are just other versions of me. I've done things that I don't love about myself. I've done things to people that I don't love about myself. So I don't like that version of me, but I love and have compassion for that version of me because I've learned, I've grown through this. It is scientifically proven. I would only cite the book that I'm currently reading, The Power of the Subconscious Mind. I didn't look into any studies, so I just want to make that known before I say it. Um, that's every cell in the body over an 11-month period of time changes. So that means the version of me that did something 1 year ago, 2, 3, 5, 10, whatever, however many years ago, is literally not the same person as I am today. Because one, that version of me has chosen to grow. I can look at that person. I've learned lessons. I've grown. Do I like that version of me? No. But I love that version of me. You see the difference? I don't wanna sit and have dinner with that version of me, you know? Um, but I love to make sure that they're eating 3 times a day, you know? Not forgiving others is like drinking the poison, like it's like you drinking the poison and expecting them to have the results. It's true. It's the mirror, as the wonderful chat is saying. Thank you so much. It's the mirror of you are I am you and you are me. So how I treat you is how I'm treating me. And that comes with people working through some really maybe might be addiction. Someone you know might be working through addiction, and that can be alcohol, drugs, that can be love, that can be sex, that can be all these things that are just making them be a version of themselves they probably wish they weren't. Well, how are you acting in in an open room? Are you kind to them? I hope you are. Behind closed doors, do you let people know how you really feel about them? Because I hope in an open room and behind closed doors, those intentions meet each other and understand that you might not like what someone's doing, but you can love them through it because that's just another version of you. Might not be the same details. You might not be struggling with alcoholism, a sex addiction, drug addiction. You might not be going through it, but you're working through your own stuff. We all are. Um, to look at somebody and feel that you are better than them or you know better, you would never do it. There's aspects of your life that they would never do either. So all you can do is meet people with love. Meet people with love. Ooh, on a podcast of the things I wish I knew, we got into some deep stuff right here. That was point 3. The things you think, the things you say, and the people you surround yourself with are a major reason that you feel the way you do. Um, when I was typing that one, I felt the connection to that. We have a question. What if it's so horrible you don't know you can love them through it? Um, so I want to think this through. I don't want to just give a generic answer, right? So when it directly affects your family, and this could be things like a child crime, a sex crime, all of these things, right? Things that can affect you and your family. This is a really powerful question, and I want to give an equally understanding and compassionate response. Things can't change. The actions cannot change, right? They happened. We wish that they didn't, but they did. The only thing that we can control from this moment forward, this moment you're listening to this, the moment you're watching this, anything, is our perspective about it. It doesn't mean you condone what they did. Absolutely not. But what have you learned? What have you learned through this? Maybe it's a powerful question. You can help others through a similar situation. Maybe if it directs your family directly, maybe this is your moment to be to stand in your power and protect, right? All we can do is forgive, doesn't change the action. Forgive with love, and doesn't mean you like them, doesn't mean you condone what they did. Maybe it's setting boundaries now. It's understanding there's consequences to actions, all of us. No matter what action it may be, there's consequences. If it's a child crime, if it's a sex crime, if it's any, we've all gone through different things of ourselves, right? You have to set a boundary and be like, I no longer accept that into my life, and I'm going to start healing through that now. And what does healing look like? It means restricting your energy, communications, your thoughts, and your feelings about this person. about this thing. It's about understanding you're living in your bubble, or you're in the process of creating your healing bubble. What are you now opening the door for to your bubble, your little igloo? We'll call it the healing igloo. What are you opening this door for? Love, compassion, kindness, help. Um, if people want to constantly talk about this thing that has happened in the family, you set a boundary. I will and will not talk about it this amount of time. I will be here for you. Um, but these are also great outlets for you to find help. Therapy, wonderful. Coaching, if because sometimes therapy is not. I can speak as this as a mental health coach. We're all in it. There's a tree of healing, right? A tree of healing. You're so welcome. And there's just different branches to the tree. Some branches you're not ready to sit on. Some branches might be too high up. Maybe therapy is too expensive. Maybe therapy is kind of taboo for you, your family, your beliefs, and that's okay. Um, but you feel comfortable talking to a coach that's like, hey, I don't feel like they're analyzing me. I feel comfortable talking to this person. And maybe that step to being able to kind of just open the door to vulnerability a little bit is going to then help you get to therapy, or help you find a hypnotherapist, or help you find a counselor, whatever it may be. Um, so that's what coaching therapy, and you have to make sure that other people too are on their healing journey. Reiki is a wonderful one. Thank you so much. Reiki has been so powerful for me. People, I've absolutely, absolutely. Um, so remember, you are responsible for your healing and being supportive to others. But if others aren't going to heal along their journey, that's dragging you and your energy back to the root of it all. You're trying to heal that wound. You're trying to, so what now feels like a dagger stabbing you in the side, what you're working to do through counseling, coaching, therapy, shadow work, inner child work, all of this stuff, is you're trying to make that stabbing and that open wound lesser and lesser and lesser. Every time you think about it, you feel about it, all of those things. You're trying to make it feel like a poke or a pinch opposed to a stab. And if other people are constantly dragging you into that, boundaries are huge for that. Our emotions, our perspective, yes, they're all our superpower. Wonderful questions in the chat today. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Um, what a I want to take a moment just to say thank you for the vulnerability of asking that question, because I think there are some words I just can't say on the apps I'm recording. Um, so I want to just thank you for being vulnerable, open, and I hope I was able to help through that, provide a little bit of perspective, that my perspective at least. Um, and I want to also point out about the content. Remember, these, whether it be a therapist or a coach like myself, or a counselor, a Reiki master, anything, these are all our personal experiences, and drawing from my personal experiences, the experiences of people I have coached and continue to coach. I'm continuing to grow. So if you are working through stuff and you connect with that, wonderful. Some things, maybe my perspective isn't for you, and that's okay. Um, I want you just to kind of think about that when you view people's content. Um, the words they say might not meet you with where you're at right now, and someone else might. That's wonderful. Just be sure that you're filtering the content and what you connect with and resonate. Thank you so much. A kindness, Ben, you are such a great source of kindness and compassion. That means the world to me. That is my goal and my intention, that I set out. We're gonna move. We're gonna keep this party moving here to what I wish I knew more on my mental health journey when we first started out. Accountability is a tough but necessary pill to swallow. Um, this shit is hard. That's the best way I can put it. Accountability stings. No one, thank you. No one wants to hear that it's their fault. Well, let's remove that verbiage, right? It's not your fault. It's your lesson. When it's your fault, it's your responsibility that it fell apart, right? Well, what if it's your lesson? You change your wording. Well, your lesson is now the thing you learn from. It's not my fault, it's my lesson. Yeah, it's uncomfortable right now because it feels like I am responsible for this. You are, right? Let's rip that Band-Aid off. And even the big stuff, it's like, I need to understand I played a role in this. I might not be the perpetrator, I might not be the person doing this, but I played a role in this environment. And doesn't mean I come down hard on myself. It doesn't mean that I need to condemn myself. It doesn't mean any of that. But your fault is your lesson. And the only thing that is going to hinder you and continue it to make it feel like your fault is if you don't learn that lesson. So that comes in the form of boundaries, that comes in the form of healing, that comes in the form of therapy, that comes in the form of all of these things are what you're going to do from taking accountability from yourself and your actions and the people around you. Because remember, if you're surrounding yourself, like the family situations, once you're at a certain age, you can remove yourself from those situations or limit yourself, set those boundaries, looking out for you. Because I think we're often taught, conditioned, whatever it may groomed, whatever it might be, to feel that we have to be these things because that's where we came from. That's the environment we grew up in. That is who we are now. These are the things that happened then. This is how we are now. You can change every moment of every single day. Quantum physics will tell you that I wish I had the numbers and the stats on that the cells in your body vibrate back and forth between quantum fields, I think 7 or 8 times every second. There's probably more than that. It's probably more than that. But understand that you have the opportunity to change right now from yesterday, from 10 minutes ago. And it's uncomfortable and it's hard. But once you take accountability and you make that commitment to yourself, things are going to change. It's not going to change the things that have happened, but it's going to change the way you react and feel about them. It's going to change the way you feel about yourself. A lot of times we don't feel great about ourselves because we're not doing anything. And then we want to blame other people because that's blaming other people for our shortcomings or our feelings or our pain is like taking an antidepressant and nothing happening and blaming it on the medication. What were you doing with the medication? Were you exercising? Were you meditating? Were you getting out in nature? Were you grounding yourself? Were you doing yoga? Were you practicing mindfulness? If all of those answers were no, and you just said, I took the pill, you really just welcomed in a bunch of side effects, which doubled down on your stuff. It's the pill is going to help you. Accountability is going to help you, but you need to make actions. You need to make plans. You need to be moving forward. Think of it as like positive momentum. What can I do as this doesn't have to be grand gestures. What small step? It could be waking up and taking 3 deep breaths. And that could be all you do today. But what you did is during those 3 deep breaths, you brought yourself to center, you grounded yourself, and you were present for 3 deep breaths. I don't know if you understand how massive that is from the past however many years you've been living in reaction to everything going on, everything, every news article, every headline, every family drama, every friend drama, everything that just came into your life, you were reacting to it. What happens when you take those 3 deep breaths and you center and you just simply are? You're not reacting, you're now in the driver's seat. Every TikTok debate, every Instagram live debate, all of these things we get so wrapped up in, and all we do is react. Set these goals. And it starts with the accountability yourself. We talked about what room do you want to sit in? If you're sitting in a room with love, compassion, people with your goal, where are you trying to move? Where are you trying to go to? What is your goal? If your professional goal is to get a promotion, to find a job you might be more centered with, more in alignment with, more in harmony with, what are you doing about that? What room are you trying to sit in? What content are you looking up? What YouTube channels are you following? TikTok, Instagram, all of these things. What are you welcoming in? What door are you opening and letting this just flood in, hit you in the face, right? That's the good room. That's accountability. That's I'm responsible for what I see. It's not the algorithm pumping it to me because I promise you the algorithms are pumping you the things you are watching. Just like your life. Your life is pumping you things that you are thinking, feeling, and energetically matching frequencies of. Because bad things are going to happen. That we're not debating that. Traumatic things are going to happen. But at what vibrational level are you going to match it at? Because if you're a high vibration matching coming across a low vibration, it's your choice to either raise the low vibration or match the low vibration. And that's perspective. That is perspective. So these bad things, what am I learning? That's the question I always ask myself when I feel like something I wish never happened to me, a family member, a loved one, anything. I say, why? Right? I sit down and go, what lesson is this? Why? Why am I learning this lesson? As soon as you ask the three-letter word, why, you turn it from a reaction to an action. You're now problem solving. Oh, what can I learn from this? What lesson is this? You're trying to find the positive in the worst things. If you can find a sliver of positivity in the worst things, you are healing, right? If you got let go from a job and you're trying, why? What is the greater purpose of this? Did I not enjoy my job? Did I not feel a purpose at my job? Did I not like the people I was working with? Well, now you have an abundance of opportunity that's going to take hard work to find things, right? Not gonna just fall in your lap. You have to set the intention, this is now what I want to attract into my life. And you're going to do it. You're going to do it because now you're setting intentions, you're goal focused, you're taking accountability, you're watching the content that you are consuming, the people you're surrounding yourself with, the things you are saying, the thoughts you are having, the words you are speaking. You're living a very intentional life now on this healing journey. And it starts with the accountability of saying, I got this shit. Yes, that bad thing happened. I was present for it. I was here for it. I might not have been the one that did it and this, but I can take the accountability for the role in my healing. Because you might not have had a part in what happened, but your role is the healer of it. I'm accountable for my healing. No one else is going to come heal for me. We wish they would, right? We wish we could take that magic pill. We wish they'd have that magic piece of information. I'm going to take that magical piece of advice has probably been told to you. You just were not ready to hear it yet. Do you ever have that light bulb go off and you're like, "Oh my god, I've heard that a million times. I just never understood it." And that's okay. You just weren't ready to hear it yet. You didn't commit to yourself yet. You committed to advice, you committed to the door of like opening that door sliver and being like, "I'll let advice in, but I'm not ready to hear it yet." That's a big difference. It's a big difference. I didn't even get to the notes I wrote about accountability stuff. I just started riding. But it did I the first thing I put is, "This shit is on you." Um, and some people might be like, "You don't understand what I've been through. You don't understand that this is the worst thing. I can't put this on me. This is on them." It's that right there. It's understanding you're responsible for the healing. You can't change the things that happen. You can change the way you look at it. You can change the way you heal through it. You can change the way you handle it. Well, my family has handled it this way their whole lives, and this is what I've been taught. Change it. That's the tough love. How I have to talk to myself is like, yeah, I've done things certain ways and I've got the same results. I need to change. I need to be understand that it's me. It's me. A wonderful comment. The worse it is, the more responsibility you have to heal yourself. Remember, this is your bubble. Celeste, so good to see you. Have a wonderful day. Remember, this is your healing bubble. You're responsible for it. No one's building this bubble but you. Imagine the house you built having a leak. You have no one to blame this on. Are you going to sit there and beat yourself up for it? Or are you going to fix the leak? Think of it that way. If you sit there and blame the leak on someone and let the leak continue to happen, it's going to affect the foundation. It's going to affect the floor. It's going to seep through and going to affect more. Or are you going to fix the leak when you see it? Doesn't mean you're not upset that you're like, damn, I really wish I would have built that better. Awesome. Now, what's the lesson? I'm going to learn how to fix a leak in the roof because maybe I didn't know how to do that before. Because next time I need to build a roof, heal through something, I'm going to understand the blueprint to how to start and do that. But if you never address, you never take the accountability, and you consistently are trying to hire someone else out to fix, quote unquote, your mistake, you're never going to learn. If you're just constantly holding the flashlight, you're going to see how things are fixed. You're never going to learn how to do it. Remember, not we don't take responsibility for everyone's actions. We take responsibility for healing from those actions. Big difference. Doesn't mean you have to support them. It doesn't mean you have to condone them, whatever it might be. You want to get to the place where you separate yourself from the judgment of it. And you sit there like, that is not me. I am responsible for me. That is not me. I am responsible for me. So, did those things affect me? Did that leak affect me? Yes, it made me feel a way I wish I never felt. I wish I never had to fix a leak. I wish I never had to do this. But with each moment, there's more water coming in. Every moment you don't want to address the leak, more, it might be a slow leak. It might be a slow drip, right? And that's okay. But over time, more water is going to build up and more problems are going to. So let's work on finding how to work through these things. Taking the accountability that we built this house, we're building this house. There's going to be obstacles, speed bumps along the way, but we're going to be able to fix them. Accountability is understanding that bad and unwanted things will happen, but you have the power and perspective to learn and grow from them, no matter what. And it might not feel like it in the moment. And you need to give yourself a pass there and understand, like, right now, in this moment in time, I choose to feel this. I know this isn't how I'm going to feel forever because I choose this is not how I'm going to feel forever. But right now, as a human being that experiences emotions, I'm going to feel this because when I take time to sit with this and feel this, I'm going to understand how to work through this and heal this. Did we just come up with something? The more I sit through and feel this, the more I'm going to be able to work through and heal this. Oh, put it on a t-shirt. I got some chills. I'm feeling that one. Whoo. I'm I'm telling you what, I am getting goosebumps everywhere. I'm going to say it one more time because I want to remember it. The more I sit with and feel this, the more I'm going to learn how to work through and heal this. I need to, don't mind me if you're listening on the more you sit through and feel this, the more you learn to work through and heal this. Boom. Needed that. If you're listening to a recording and you're not watching this live, I apologize. But that was great. I felt great about that. You've had a role in everything that's happened. And sometimes that's hard on the accountability train is to be like, I didn't have a role in that. That happened to me. That happened around me. You were there. Doesn't mean like you actively had the role in them doing it, but you were there. You showed up. You have to take the accountability for being there. Even if it's against your will. Again, I was there. Now it's my responsibility to heal. Because remember, the accountability you take in that role is the accountability you're going to take in your success story. If you don't take accountability for the things that have happened to you and the healing that you need to go through, you're not going to be able to take accountability in your success story. It's gonna feel like you don't deserve it. It's gonna feel like I didn't work hard for this because you need to take accountability for the good and the bad. That's sometimes we're like you hear of people that have like made it and they're like, I don't know what I did to deserve this. Well, you don't want to get to that point in your success story and be like, what did I do to deserve this? You're going to know damn well what you did to deserve this. You went through some really hard times. You worked through some really hard times and you showed up every single freaking day to earn that success story. And that success story doesn't mean you're getting covered with flowers and praise. And it's waking up with a clear mind for the first time in years. Taking those deep 3 breaths, putting your feet on the ground, and smiling at the end of the 3rd breath. That is your success story. Don't get caught up in the social media glory of it all. Don't get caught up in what other people are doing, aren't doing. Mental health, if there's one thing I wish I knew, it's waking up with a smile and gratitude is the greatest gift I could have given myself. I went through a lot of pain, a lot of heartache, a lot of trials, a lot of tribulations to earn that. To sit here and be able to talk with people that I hopefully I'm connecting with. I've earned that. And not for 1 second do I feel like it was given to me, that I don't know my role in it. I can look back, and while I probably don't remember every single heartbreaking detail, which means I've helped heal from it, instead of trauma blocking it, I've healed through it. I've earned it. And that's what we're all working through. So right now, whatever it is you're going through in your life, you're earning that success story by how you are healing through this. Someone say, I have earned you in this moment. And that's beautiful, right? Because to even think about that, the words that are coming out of my mouth, somebody earned because they've worked through so much in their lives to be able to be in a certain place at a certain time to hear certain words come from a certain person, right? I've checked my ego out a long time ago. He's sitting on a beach somewhere, hanging out. We're all connected. I've earned you at this moment to be in this room, to chat with me, to talk. I've earned that. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the thing is like we understand that we're all just being able to heal together. And we're all on different points of our healing journey in a non-linear journey. So it's not like I sit here and feel that I'm somewhere above somebody. I look to you and understand and see myself and understand I know where I've been, I know where I'm going, but it's not linear. It's not straight up and down or straight left and right. We've all earned this. You have to be healing or wanting to heal to come across your account. That's huge. Agreed. That remember it comes down to the content we're consuming, right? You've been on a healing journey, so I don't know if I'm if you're listening to this, I'm talking to someone in our comments. I don't know if what journey people are on, but in order to see, maybe I just pop up on somebody's live feed. It's matching the content you've been watching, right? So it's giving you what you're looking for. You chose to heal. This time something came across and you chose to listen. Very simply could have looked at a backwards hat and a Grateful Dead t-shirt and been like, I'm good. I don't know what this guy's saying. But you heard some words that resonated at the time you tuned in. If you're listening to this on your car ride home before you go to bed, you're listening to this because you've chosen you. You've chosen to accept content into your life audibly, visually, mindfully, whatever it might be. You, you're choosing yourself to heal. If you can hear the motorcycle go by. And I'm really proud of you for all of that. I'm really proud of all of you for that. Asking for help isn't weird. That's one of my last things before we get to our listener questions of the day. Um, Asking for help is not weird, it's necessary. Let's look at it from a logical standpoint, dollars and cents. It literally doubles your investment. Asking for help literally doubles your investment. You're going to get there twice as fast, if not faster. So, this stigma of asking for help is weak or makes me less of a person, less of a woman, a less of a man, a less of anything. In a world of not judging, that's kind of stupid. Rebecca said it best. Asking for help is not showing weakness, it's bravery. It shows you how strong you are. I will be the first to admit I did not get here alone. I'm not going to get where my goals are by acting alone. We're all in this together. So that's why I ask for your help all the time, just to be here and listen, to help you. I have on my affirmation sheet that I make X amount of money by helping others help themselves. That is my goal. Without other people helping themselves, I cannot reach my goals. So by people showing up for themselves, that helps me show up for me. So remember, and yeah, there's gender roles here. We had somebody ask, I've had a hard time asking for help as a woman, but I'm working on it. Yeah, there's talking getting over stereotypes too. I work with a client that lives in a or works in a male dominant industry. And they talk about how hard it is just to get one step to everyone else's 10. And it's developed them to where they are today in a mindset, right? They reached out for help. Do you know how hard that is to be in an environment for so long where you have to be the strongest, the bravest, the toughest, the baddest, to finally look at yourself in the mirror and be like, the right move for me right now is to ask for help because while I'm so strong and independent in so many areas of my life, maybe financially, maybe professionally, maybe personally, wherever it might be, but in this moment right now, I just need a little bit of help with my mental health. Maybe you need a little bit of help in relationships. Maybe you need a little bit of help through anxiety, panic disorder, depression, anything that falls under this mental health umbrella. Do you know how strong you have to be to do this? In your moment of weakness that you don't want to show the world, that you've been putting on this mask for however long now, you take that mask off, you unzip that costume, and you come to somebody and you say, I need a little bit of help. I've been struggling. I need a little bit of help. I'm struggling. That's 9 words. You can say 9 words and they will change your life forever. That's the script. I need a little bit of help. I'm struggling. And a professional, a coach, a therapist, a counselor loves to hear those words. I can speak personally. I love to hear those words because I know someone's ready to heal. And what am I good at? Helping people help themselves. I tell this to everyone who jumps on a call with me, everyone has a discovery call, anything. I'm not going to heal anybody, but I'm damn good at helping people heal themselves. That gave me chills. I'm not going to heal you, but damn, am I good at helping you heal you. That is the greatest gift you can give anybody is the power to know they have the power themselves. Because you might just be driving around in a circle right now, wondering when to when to make your first right turn. Well, if you keep going in a circle, They're going to have to get off at some point. And with the help of professionals, that's where they help guide you. They help give you a little bit of a roadmap, right? Because sometimes coaching is just what people need. Sometimes as the best part about being a coach is I have a network of people that I trust, I have vetted, I have worked with, and I say my help guides you to here. Maybe through your spiritual journey, right? You might be on a spiritual journey, and I can point you to countless Reiki masters I've worked with. People have just helped me navigate my subconscious mind. Therapists, I could point you to therapists I trust. I can point you to people. That's that healing tree we've talked about. That's the thing. There's different branches. And sometimes you need to get on one branch to go to the next one. So asking for help, it's going to double your interest. It's going to double your investment on healing. Another thing that I like to talk about when it comes to this is finding the right person to help. It's kind of like going on a date. So if you're trying to find a therapist, a coach, counselor, Reiki master, anything like that, it's not a one size fits all or a one person fits all kind of thing. Um, it's kind of like I always recommend take advantage of the free discovery call if somebody has a free discovery call, and get to know if you match with that person. It's like going on a date. It's like, do I want to talk to this person again? Do I trust this person with my vulnerability, the things that I've gone through? Because as a coach, I can only say, I can only meet you where you are. I can only help you heal as much as you're ready to heal. So if there's any bit of kind of like dancing around, I don't want to talk about this, or I don't feel comfortable talking to you kind of thing, we're not the right fit because we're going to talk about things. And in your healing sessions with others, you're going to talk about things. That's the point of talking to someone is you're talking through the things that are tough to talk about with someone trained and talking about the tough things to talk about. So I can only speak in my practice is I do my absolute best to create that safe, that comfortable space for you to sit in there and almost view it from my perspective. We're trying to get you to look at it the way a coach would look at it, a therapist would look at it, because that's going to be your greatest strength moving forward is learning how to heal and learning that perspective. I can't tell you how many people I have come back for one session every other month or something like that just to check in. Be like, "Hey, I've been going through this," and then sometimes I have an hour-long conversation praising somebody because no one else can tell them how proud of them they are because they didn't work with them. Sometimes you need to, like, check in and be like, "Hey, I really identify with the things you say, the things you do, the perspective you helped get me here. I just need to kinda check in." And sometimes you just need someone to be like, "I'm so damn proud of you. I know where you started, where you are, and if no one's gonna tell you, holy hell, am I proud of you," right? So remember, finding that person for you is crucial to your healing journey. Whether that's me, whether that's a like all the things we talk about, it's finding that person for you that you're willing to obviously invest your money in because you're investing in yourself. You're investing in your healing journey. You're investing in that accountability. And sometimes, if you just look at money as an energetic transfer, it's like the accountability of how serious am I taking my healing? Because I know I do my best to make as much free content as I possibly can, but there's just a connection to one-on-one, right? There's being able to sit and talk and be like, "Let's talk about the specifics instead of like the general stuff." And be selective. We talked about the date thing. Be selective. If you're not getting from the person you're working for anymore, it's kind of like setting the boundary as like, "I love you, you're no longer serving me. I need to move on." So be selective with whom you ask for help. That doesn't mean just any Tom, Dick, or Harry. or Tina, Donna, and Lorraine. Um, you have to find that person that's going to find the version of you you're looking for. Because remember, the version of you you're looking for is always there. Sometimes you just need a little help. And the right person, the right connection, the right energy transfer is going to help you get there. It's not just like a pray and spray situation. It's like, "Oh, I'll just take anybody." Um, that's why I do what I do. I try to make as much as I can to build trust. I would love to talk to everybody one on one for days and hours and years, but I make as much content as I can, and I know other people do too, to build trust, to build relationships, build community, to understand that, like, you know what I'm about. Without talking to me, you're able to watch, see, listen, consume, and understand, I like that person. Do that for everyone that you're looking for help from. So if there's a therapy you really resonate with, it might you maybe they have a full book, but if they don't have a full, see who they follow. See who, like, it's all just kind of stepping stone. I like to call them trail of treats. Um, See who they work with, see who they trust, see who they recommend. These are all just guiding you to things that are going to help you along your healing journey. Um, and lastly, if that's something you're looking for, send me a DM, send me an email on my website. Have a 15-minute call, and we'll see. Like, hey, can are you actually able to help, or do you know of somebody that can help me? Because these are the things I'm going for. I will be the first to tell you if I am or I'm not the right person. I'm not in this to take money, I'm in this to help, right? So if I sit there and I go, I don't know if I'm the fit, but I promise you I will do my work to find someone I trust for you to reach out to. I'm not going to give you a blind no and tell you to go on. I will help you find someone or at least an avenue to get there, right? So, like I said, you can somebody like you underscore mental health on Instagram. TikTok is somebody like dot you. You were like, hey, well, why don't you just make all of these the same? I didn't realize that I was going to grow accounts under the name somebody like you, and thanks to Adele. That's a very, or maybe Hosier too, a very popular name for people to have. So yeah, somebody like you.org too. Send me an email. There, I think there's a note at the bottom. I would love to be able to help, send you in a direction that I can hopefully help you along your healing journey. Um, and at the very least, tell you I'm so proud of you for taking that step. Just to say, hey, I'm struggling. I need a little bit of help. Um, and as we're closing up the podcast today, we have one, two, three, four really, really good listener questions. Good morning to everyone who is just joining us. Good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for being here. We are on to the listener questions, and our first question is from a dear friend of mine. How do you set boundaries with your mind? I love that question. It's being intentional with your boundaries, right? You have to let the mind know you're setting boundaries. So if you're looking for, I'll try to think of mine, right? Anxiety. I have to set a boundary with my mind because when I'm having a panic attack, um, I feel like my life is ending. I shouldn't say I feel like it. I'm convinced. That's a very scary feeling. That is, especially when you're convinced of it. So I have to set a boundary with my mind to know when this moment happens, it is panic and or slash anxiety. You have gone through this. You have listed and seen all of the symptoms to this, and you know what this feels like. So my boundary in my mind is when this happens, I do this. And my thing is, I call it turn on my competitive brain, my competitive mind. Um, and it's not like bring it, but it's like we're getting through this hell or high water. What you're going to do to me, I'm here for. And that once you, I don't want to get like super like technical with things, but once you lower that cortisol level. So in your amygdala, right, your brain, it's letting your brain know you're in fight, flight, freeze, or I think there's a fourth one now. Um, what you're doing by almost matching that, like it thinks you're in trouble, whether anything specific happened or not. Your mind and your amygdala in your brain is the raised level of cortisol in your body, which is a releasing an adrenaline rush, is telling you you're in fawn. Thank you very much. Freeze, flight, or fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Um, it's telling you you're in danger. And this could just be from stress boiling up for years, and then nothing happens and the pot boils over. Well, what you're doing by saying, like, I'm going to do what I was if I'm sitting here watching a TV show, I'm gonna watch this TV show. If I was going somewhere to the grocery store, obviously, if you are able to drive and take all the safety precautions you can, I'm doing the things. You're not changing me. Um, the moment I started doing that and set that boundary in my mind that I'm doing these things despite that, that response went way down. I no longer felt like, yeah, I'm still uncomfortable. I'm still having these attacks, but it was like I had a conversation with my mind and my amygdala, the cortisol levels, the adrenaline, all these things. I let it know that I'm not going anywhere. I respect you, you're here, but I'm still doing the things I want to do. So that boundary in my mind has changed it. Now that can be a boundary in your mind with family members, with relationships, with coworkers. You have to just be intentional with your boundary and let your mind know you're setting a boundary. And then I have videos that talk about like how to set healthy boundaries and with we have to have consequences to be consistent, to act with love, respect, and all of these things. Um, that's how I would go about it. I hope I answered that question. The next question was, how do you take a bad experience, quote unquote bad experience, and turn it into a good one, quote unquote good? Perspective. We talked about what lesson am I learning? Ask yourself the why, and then ask yourself, what lesson can I learn from this? Those bad experiences, when you ask yourself, what am I learning from this? You're instantly stopping it in its tracks and you're moving that momentum in a positive direction. And now you're looking for the positive things. You're no longer looking for the things to blame. You're no longer looking for the things to dwell on. You're looking for the solutions. You're looking for the light. You're looking for all of these things. So I say the power of perspective is ask yourself, what lesson am I learning from this? Um, and it doesn't have to be some epic lesson. It can, what you're doing is training your mind at the very, like, understand the purpose of what you're doing. It's to train your mind to look for the good in the bad situations. Because then it's going to become a reflex. You're practicing this and you're going to find the good, right? That's a big one. Is there a connection to mental health and faith slash beliefs slash spirituality? Absolutely. Your mental health starts with your belief, right? Starts with your belief in yourself. So I often get a question about religion. I'm not a religious person. Um, I'm more of a, I say, a spiritual person. I think from more of a consciousness level, because I went to Catholic school growing up and did not enjoy it. Um, but anyway, the connection there is finding love, compassion, purpose, empathy, and all those things. So if you read the Bible, or if you read spiritual books, or whatever your beliefs are, right? Your mental health is that sense of purpose, finding that love, finding the compassion. However you get there, however you get to love, compassion, empathy, that's your mental health. So that's your beliefs. If you find belief in Jesus and Moses and all of the religious scriptures and stuff like that, that is wonderful. I do not judge people for how they get to love, compassion, and empathy. That's your journey, no one else's. But remember, there's toxicity in all of these things too. So your mental health is navigating those things and acting in the service of purpose and love, compassion, empathy, and kindness. And I'm sure a bunch more, but those are the five I can list right now. And as I jumped on TikTok Live before we got on here, someone said, any tips on disassociation? So if you are still listening, which I hope you are, disassociation is the way I can put it is you feel like you are, I'm going to say not associated with the environment and you're currently in. So like if I, it's kind of like me looking at myself recording this podcast, right? Like that is me. I'm looking at me, but I'm over here. It's like seeing yourself from a different perspective. It's seeing if you're sitting in your room, it's seeing your table, it's seeing your bed, it's seeing, but it not that scary feeling of it not being your bed. Like you're just placed into an exact replica of your room. It's the exact like I know this is where I do my work. I know this is where I do my podcast. I know that's where I sleep. I know that's where I play my piano, my guitar. But that's not my guitar. That's not my piano. That's not my desk. And it's like watching a video game of your life, but you're in the video game. So any tips for that? One, close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths, and ground yourself. Understand you are okay, even though you feel like you are not. You feel like you're going nuts, you feel like you're going crazy. It's okay. You feel this way. You are not this way. You are the awareness. You are the thing looking at this. You are not this thing. So it's okay. It's like with anxiety. What this is an anxiety attack. It's a panic attack. And just like what I said, when I work through my boundaries, it's that's how I had to work through my disassociation and depersonalization. Is when those things happen, meet them with love, compassion, but meet them with my competitive brain, and understand that I'm not going anywhere. This is happening right now, right? A lot of times when we get in these moments, we wish it was over. We wish we were somewhere. So you're wishing to be anywhere but where you are, and that's part of the disassociation. You're not where you are. So learn to be where you are in those moments by grounding, meditating, stepping outside. A big one for me is getting out into my backyard with my bare feet and standing in grass, whether it's rain, snow, whatever it is, it's getting out there and it's going to bring you back, right? You're going to the earth sets off at 7.83 hertz, I believe. And by stepping on it with your bare feet, you're going to actually, there's scientific proof that you are actually releasing and intaking energetic charges from the earth. So that's a big one. So that's a great question because that's something that's personal to me that I go through as well. So thank you for that. Um, but as we close up, that is the conclusion of our podcast. I'm going to stay live on TikTok for another 10 minutes. So stick around while I have a little post wrap sesh. And if you just listened to the entire, this was the longest podcast, I think, in Somebody Like You podcast history at 123. Thank you for jumping in here, hanging out. And I will catch all of you on the next one. And remember, if you are looking for help, if you are looking for resources, please feel free to visit somebodylikeyu.org. Visit my Instagram at somebodylikeyu_mental health. Send me a DM. We can jump on a discovery call if that will work, if that will help. I am here to help you in any way I possibly can. And if that is not in the books, please, I make so much content for free to be able to help as many people as I possibly can. Um, I love every one of you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope this has found you when it was meant to find you. I'll catch you on the next episode of the Somebody Like You podcast. And until then, take care. See ya.